Hey everyone, hope everyone's doing good. Hope you all are doing happy, doing blessed, doing safe, and doing well. Welcome to your Geek Report for the weeks of January the 2nd through January the 12th of 2026. This is officially the first Geek Report of 2026, and it is getting off to a kind of a slow start, but let's get to it. So, everything is going to be coming out of our movie and TV area. Okay, and we really only have two news articles to talk about this week. The first news article concerns Avengers Doomsday. We got a new trailer about Avengers Doomsday. This one is focused on the X-Men. And I think this is quite possibly the most important teaser. And this ain't a full-fledged trailer. This is only a teaser. How this is quite possibly the most important teaser we've gotten so far. Then we're going into the rumor area. And I'm going to stress this again, and I'm going to stress this again later on. This is still only rumor at this point. But the word is, and the rumor is that Kathleen Kennedy is finally leaving Lucasfilm. That she is finally, moving away, whatever you want to call it, that she is getting out of Lucasfilm. Okay? I'm not going to talk long about this because I want to wait until this is confirmed. But I did want to kind of mention it and kind of talk about it. So everyone, sit back, relax, grab yourself something to eat, grab yourself something to drink, and let's look at the Geek Report for the first weeks of January 2026. Specifically, this is for the weeks of January the 2nd through January the 12th of 2026.
Now, let's begin our Geek Report in our TV and movie segment. So, let's see what big news dropped in the past 2 weeks in the world of TV, movies, and anime.
So, ladies and gentlemen, beginning this episode of the Geek Report, I want to talk about the latest Avengers trailer. And the reason I want to talk about this trailer because this officially confirms, and we've already been confirmed, we already had the cast list. But by all accounts, this confirms something huge. And that is that we are getting the original Charles Xavier and Magneto from the 1990s X-Men movies. Which I am completely happy for. And I also think that this trailer is bigger than most people think because I have to believe that they're taking all the properties they've done. Whether you're talking about the 90s stuff with Spider-Man and the X-Men, as well as the more recent MCU stuff. And they could be doing a complete reset. Now, I don't think they will reset everything, okay? I think they will keep phases 1 and 2 of the MCU. But as far as, like, the 1990s stuff, even the stuff over on Netflix, and as well as stuff like Miss Marvel and Captain Marvel and the Marvels and all that stuff, I have to wonder if that's all just going to go away. And what is that going to look like? Okay. Are they going to do what Star Wars has done and call it like Legends or something like that? Or are they just going to, make it disappear? Because the more I look at these trailers, where you're talking about the Captain America trailer, whether you're talking about the Thor trailer, or whether you're talking about this X-Men trailer, I'm starting to wonder if perhaps we ain't getting a complete and full-on reset of the Marvel Cinematic Universe from the end of Phase 2, which was Avengers Endgame, all the way up till today, and what that is going to look like. But let's take a look at the trailer, and as it plays, I'll give you some of my thoughts and opinions on it. But this here is the X-Men trailer for the upcoming movie, Avengers Doomsday.
Death comes for us all.
Now, already, you can tell that this is the X Mansion because if you look in the very back, you can see that X symbol, okay? So this is the X Mansion. This is Charles Xavier's School for Gifted Youngsters.
That's all I know for sure.
And there you have the the plaque that was in front of the school at the very beginning of the 1990s X-Men movies, as well as the more recent X-Men movies. So we're getting that.
The question isn't, are you prepared to die? The question is, who will you be when you close your eyes?
And just there, right there, you have Patrick Stewart returning as Professor Charles Xavier. And you have Sir Ian returning as Magneto. So we're getting them back. But I want you to notice something about the outfit he's wearing. That looks an awfully lot like Days of Future Past outfit. So are we getting a Days of Future Past version of X-Men? Is that what we're getting here? So if you don't know what X-Men Days of Future Past is, basically it was a comic series as well as more recently a movie where in the near future mutants like Charles Xavier and Wolverine, Cyclops, Jean Grey are hunted. Okay, they're hunted, they're locked up, and it's very dystopian. Okay, it's very, very dystopian. Well, in order to stop this, Charles Xavier sends his mind, well, not his mind, but Wolverine's mind back into the past, into his younger body, to try to alter history. Okay? And that's the basic elements of Days of Future Past. And in that movie and comic series, he wore that outfit. Okay? He wore that outfit. So, we know what the overall plot of Avengers Doomsday is going to be. Well, we know some of it. We know that the basic story of Avengers Doomsday is going to revolve around Doctor Doom doing something to the multiverse. And it's going to take Captain America, the Fantastic Four. It's going to take Thor. It's going to take all the Avengers that are still around to stop him. But immediately after Avengers Doomsday, we are going to get Avengers Secret Wars. So, assuming that they follow the story of Secret Wars, okay, what we can discern from Doomsday is that at the end of Doomsday, something happens. The Avengers fail. Or Doom does something. Doctor Doom does something. Who will now be played by Robert Downey Jr. And all the different realities will be kind of mashed up into one world called Battle World. Okay, and it'll be up to the Avengers to kind of set things right. Okay, it'll be up to them to go into each of the different versions of Earth to kind of reverse what Doctor Doom has done. Okay, so in this image right here, we see Patrick Stewart as Charles Xavier. Could this mean that the version of the X-Men we're getting is Days of Future Past? Where Charles Xavier sent his mind into the future, and while it was going on, he was pulled from the future to this fight with Doctor Doom and the Avengers? Could that be what we're seeing here? Okay? I mean, and if so, is this the end? Is this the end? Or is this just a new beginning for this version of, Patrick Stewart's Charles Xavier? Is this a new beginning for Sir Ian's Magneto? Could we be getting a revival of the X-Men in this light after Secret Wars? Okay. And that's why I wanted to talk about it. Because I think this trailer is quite possibly more important than any of the other trailers we've seen. Because the X-Men weren't really part of the MCU. They weren't part of any of the phases. They were from the 90s. They were in their own separate universe. But now they're being brought over into this MCU. And I just kind of have to wonder if they're not preparing us for a new X-Men movie series after Secret Wars. Okay, which I'm honestly kind of excited about if they are doing that. But this also kind of tells me a little bit that really they are preparing for some type of retcon of everything post Avengers Endgame. Okay, because Avengers Doomsday is supposed to be a direct sequel to Avengers Endgame. Okay, so that means phases 3 and 4 they've not happened. We're talking about the Marvels. We're talking about Miss Marvel. We're talking about the Inhumans. We're talking about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. We're talking about so many things that have happened in phases 3 and 4. Okay. So does that leave the door open for them to basically redo these series? Is that going to leave the door open for them to do a new Miss Marvel series? What about the Daredevil series that's currently being done? Daredevil Born Again. What does that mean for Daredevil? What does that mean for Jessica Jones and the Defenders? Okay. So, now I'm going to finish this trailer out, but I do think this is probably the most important trailer we've seen. And there you have Cyclops, and he's in the classic uniform. He's in the classic uniform. You could tell that he's in the classic uniform. And there we got the date, December 18th, 2026. What else can I say at this point? I think this is probably one of the more important teasers we've had because it shows that we are getting, from my point of view, it shows that we are getting Days of Future Past, Professor Charles Xavier, and Magneto. That's who we're getting. Okay? That we're not getting any other version of them, but we're getting the Days of Future Past versions of them. And that kind of begs the question, well, what about Wolverine and what about Cyclops and Jean Grey and the rest of them? But I wouldn't say I'm excited for this movie yet, okay? Because we're only seeing teasers. We've seen Captain America will return. We've seen Thor will return. The X-Men will return in Avengers Doomsday. I want to see a full-fledged trailer. And I think we'll probably get it at the Super Bowl. Okay? Just to be honest, I think we're going to get that at the Super Bowl. If not, we'll get it. We've got to get one soon because it's December 18th. I think they'll start at the Super Bowl. But if not, it'll probably come a little bit before or after. And in all honesty, I think the reason that all these trailers have dropped recently is because and I say trailers, but I really mean teasers. The reason that all these teasers have dropped recently is the fact that they're probably gearing us up for the trailer. Okay. So they're probably gearing us up for the trailer. But I think this is probably one of the more important teasers we saw because it shows us which version of the X-Men are coming to Avengers Doomsday and quite possibly to Avengers Secret Wars.
Continuing on with the news from TV, movies, and anime from the past 2 weeks.
So our next story in our movie and TV segment, and our final story, really, I am putting a special tag on, and that is a rumor tag. Because nothing official has come out yet. Okay? And the reason I'm doing that is because we have heard this before, and it has not come true. And I don't want to sit here and say, yes, this is what's going to happen. And then a month or two down the road, they extend her contract or something. But according to a lot of news sources that I trust, like Comic Book Movie, as well as some that I've kind of grown not very fond of, like Variety and The Hollywood Reporter, Kathleen Kennedy is out at Lucasfilm this year. And is being replaced by Dave Filoni, who we know Dave's work. You know, he helped work on The Mandalorian with Jon Favreau. He did Ahsoka Season 1, which I found was okay. It wasn't great, but it was okay. but he's going to be assisted by a woman called Linwin Brennan. I've never heard of this woman, but it's an executive who's going to handle the business side of things, where Dave will handle the more creative side of things. Okay. Like I said before, I'm still putting a rumor tag on this. Okay. The reason I'm doing that is because we have been down this road before. Okay. We have heard these rumors before. Oh, she's leaving this year. Oh, she's leaving after the Acolyte. Oh, she's leaving after this. Blah, 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 blah. We have heard this rumor before. And while a lot of these sources are reporting it, I'm not going to sit here and say, yes, it's going to happen, because before, all this, not all of them, but a lot of sources were saying she was out, and then it turned around and she got a contract extension. Okay. So I am not going to 100% say that she's out this year. I hope she is. Okay. I have nothing against the woman personally. It's just I feel that she has brought down something that I have loved since I was a kid. Okay. Then she has destroyed something I have loved since I was a kid. All right. But when they finally do confirm it or not confirm it, then I'll talk about it. And I'll talk in length about my opinions on it. Okay. But right now, I'm still just considering this rumor, because of the simple fact that we have been down this road before. We have been burned by this type of news before. And I'm not going to get burned again. I'm not going to get my hopes up again for a Star Wars revival if the one thing that's stopping said revival is still there. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's it. Your first official Geek Report of 2026. To be more specific, that was your Geek Report for the weeks of January the 2nd through January the 12th of 2026. To kind of review everything we talked about, everything this week came from our TV and movie segment. And basically, we first talked about the newest teaser that has dropped online for Avengers Doomsday. And this one focused on the X-Men. And I talked a little bit about this teaser. I showed the teaser, and I basically kind of talked about overall what I think is going on with Avengers Doomsday and what I think could be happening with Avengers Secret Wars, which is coming right after. I showed the teaser and basically just gave you my opinions on what's going on. And then came the rumor area. And like I said before, and I'm going to reiterate this one more time, this is still only rumor. But the rumor is, and I did not really want to report on it, but I felt I had to, that Kathleen Kennedy is finally leaving Lucasfilm. Now, I didn't really talk a whole lot about this because as of right now, this is still only rumor. Okay? As of right now, this is still nothing but rumor. Okay? But if it turns out to be true, this could be very huge for Lucasfilm and for Star Wars. So I did talk about it a little bit, but if it is confirmed, I will talk about it a whole lot more. But that was your official and first Geek Report for January 2026. To be more specific, it was your Geek Report for the weeks of January the 2nd through January the 12th of 2026. This is a new year, and I can't wait to see what comes out of it. But anyway, you guys take care of yourselves. Watch over each other. Y'all be groovy. Y'all be cool to one another. And I will see you guys in the next video and in the next stream. Laters.
Hey everyone, thanks for watching this episode of the Geek Report. I hope you enjoyed it. If you got a moment, please check out my other video sites as well as my social media and give them a like and follow. I will see you all in the next video and the next stream. Laters.